Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ev, and today I'm going to be talking about... There we go. We're going to be talking about Persona 5, Scramble, the Phantom Strikers. So before I start this video, hey, if you like this video when it's over, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It really helps out my channel, obviously. It gets me so that I can eventually do this for a living, hopefully. And that's it. I keep forgetting to do it in every video, so then I had to re-record a new one. But this time I didn't forget, so yay. So here we go. So I'm wearing the same shirt, but that's because I've actually just streamed Persona 5 Scramble. I have played it, the demo. In Japan, the game is releasing soon, and the demo came out to like roughly yesterday, something like that, February something. Anyway, the point is that the Nintendo Switch, it is not region locked, so you can make a Japanese Nintendo account and then go into the eShop, set it under the Japanese one, and then you can download demos or buy games on the Japanese website and then pay for it that way, which is really nice. That's really helpful, so that, you know, hey, even though we're not in Japan, I am still capable of downloading the demo, which is fine, which is great, which is really good. Even though I can't understand the language, it really helps me out, and it also helps out other players, because Nintendo doesn't really have a high restriction rate when it comes to making a Japanese account, because they don't require a lot. They don't, like, you have to have a Japanese Yahoo account, you have to have a Japanese address in order to make your accounts or whatever, which is the way it works with Sony, so PlayStation, which is nice. So I'm excited for Phantom Strikers Persona 5 Scramble. I'm gonna just call it Persona 5 Scramble or Persona 5S, depending on how I feel. Anyway, the point is that a lot of people weren't happy when this was announced, because we thought Persona 5S meant it was gonna just be Persona 5 ported to the Switch, but it wasn't. It turns out it's an actual sequel. However, it is both PlayStation and Nintendo Switch exclusive. It's not going to the Xbox, mainly because Xbox really isn't that big, so they really don't have any need to port a game if it's not really doing well in their region, obviously. So it's actually nice, because Persona 5, it's weird because Persona 5 Scramble is a sequel to Persona 5, yet Persona 5 is Sony exclusive, but that's mainly because it's the main title. All the secondary titles Persona games that aren't mainline titles tend to be multi-platform, so it makes it a lot easier, which is nice because it's understandable, right? They want to hit their core audience, and having it multi-platform for the main title splits that diversity. So yeah, sure, it forces everybody to have a PlayStation, but at this point, you know, who doesn't? You know, and if you put it on the Xbox, well, it's not really gonna make a lot of money, because most people don't know Persona. Most people who know Persona either have a Switch or a Sony game, a Sony console, so it's fine. All right. To move on from that, let's talk about the actual Persona 5 Scramble. Enough backstory and all that other shit. Actually, no, whoops. I have more backstory for you. I have been following the Persona 5 Scramble media trailers and stuff. You know, things that they're doing, producing, and trailers, live streams. It's very nice. It's very fun, and I love it. It's really weird because Persona 5 Royal in the West really hasn't had a lot of trailers. It has like one or two, but that's just like, here's a trailer, the game's coming out in like a month or two, and then that's it. We're not really getting the Persona 5 Royal treatment that Japan has. Like, Japan has been like throwing content out there to like, hey, yo, you should buy this, you know. Even though it's the same game with added content, we're really not pushing that hard in the West, which is weird. But I guess that's fair, because the West really doesn't need all that. They're like, oh, it's going to be Persona 5 with some added stuff. And we're like, okay, cool, we're probably going to buy it. Most of us who are hardcore fans will buy the game. And it very rarely is the I guess the definitive edition rarely ever publicized too much for media outlets, or, you know, for the media to buy the game, because it's mainly the people who already love the Persona series, and it's very rarely gonna bring in new people. Normally the next title, like Persona 6, will be that game that, here, jump in, you know. It is very rare that the expanded versions of the game are ever gonna be the the one where we're gonna get new fans. We do, but not very rarely, or it doesn't happen as often. Alright, so I think that's enough backstory for Persona 5 Scramble. I've been following Persona 5 Scramble since its reveal, which is really nice. I really enjoy it. A lot of people weren't happy that it's a MUSOU game, and I was like, alright, it's a MUSOU game, but it's Persona, so I'll do it. I'm okay with that. But, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's just gonna be another MUSOU game. It's not gonna be that good. But recently, we've gotten a lot of trailers. I'm like, oh, okay, this is looking good. Even though it looks a little slow in trailers, I got my hands on it today, and I can gladly say that Persona 5 Scramble is gonna be a good game. The textures are a little weird, and they don't really have the outlines they do in Persona 5, so that is a bit worrying. But they might add them in. Who knows? I can't tell you that. I doubt they will though, because the game already looks like it's raring to go. Especially since it's coming out in like 2 weeks. They're just gonna go and have it, and that's it. Because unfortunately, Persona 5 Scramble has the issue where it looks older than its current gen, right? It doesn't look photorealistic. It has a more animated style, very comic booky or anime aesthetic to replicate how like manga or anime look. And unfortunately, without like the black bar outline, it really kind of shows the polygons, and when lighting hits polygons improperly, they look like just squares, right? It looks, you can tell that it's digital. It's like it doesn't look real, right? And that's where we got the outlines from, or the specific shadings in Persona 5. It hid all of those elements. However, I mean, I could be wrong. I play Persona 5 a lot, and maybe I just didn't matter to me, but I never really found that an issue in the game. Not until we started seeing Persona 5 Scramble stuff, which, you know, obviously it's not the actual Persona team. It is Koei Tecmo. So maybe that's the issue. I don't know, but it's really weird because I've heard that Koei Tecmo redesigned everything from the ground up. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I feel like it's more like, here's our assets, and then they threw it into the Koei Tecmo engine maybe, but they forgot about the cell shading, the shading and the outline. Maybe, I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's what it feels like for me when I see this game. It's just, but I'm really having a lot of fun. It feels very much like Bayonetta, which is interesting, right? Because it has the same like button layout, and also like how dodging, it's slide, but it's the same thing. It's very much the same way Bayonetta works, which is really nice. However, I wish there was an actual dodge roll instead of just a slide, but you know, who cares? It's not that big of a deal. But there is a massive difference between this MUSOU game and I think other MUSOU games, is that Koei Tecmo tends to be the core creators, right? They take those properties and they make their own story. However, here, well, to be fair, I can't actually accurately say that. I don't know. I haven't played the other games, and I don't really have a lot of knowledge. So if you have that knowledge, tell me in the comment section down below, and we'll discuss it there. However, in this particular game, Atlus is actually dealing with the narrative. They are actively writing that shit. They wrote it here, boom, slam. Here, now make the game. Basically, it's like it's Atlus is the brain, and Koei Tecmo is the body, right? Koei Tecmo's pressing the buttons, doing all the coding, but Atlus did all the narrative. They're doing all the other stuff, right? So it speeds up the process, because Scramble came out, what, 2 years after Persona 5? Persona 5 came out in 2016, technically for Japan, which again which is interesting, because Persona 5 came out in Japan in 2016, and now 2020, roughly 4 years later, it's coming out to with Scramble. So it's roughly 4 years. So maybe they actually did do it from the ground up. Who knows? I don't know. But it feels weird, right? Because it's like, oh, this is an actual action game. Normally, Persona goes with JRPG turn-based combat, which is weird. We normally don't see well, we do have action games with Atlus, but they've been mainly 2D arcade arc system fighter games. And now we're going into the MUSOU, kind of more Dark Souls-y kind of esque combat, very action oriented, which is nice, which is good. I prefer those types over other ones, but Arc System does a good job. They did a good job with Persona 5. Arc System did a good job with Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Those ones were really good, and it worked, and they worked really well, and it's very fun. So here with this demo, which is roughly 2 hours, depending on how long you take, and if you skip any of the cutscenes, but it's just, I was already hyped for it, and then the gameplay feels and looks and sounds very much like the original Persona game. It literally just feels like, oh hey, Persona 5 was originally supposed to be a lot longer, and then they're like, okay, here's the good ending, boom, that's Persona 5. And then what the rest of they had another section. They're like, they had a much longer game, right? Persona 5 was this, and it had all this in it, which, you know, so in a weird way, I think it was Persona 5 and Persona 5 Scramble, but they're like, oh fuck, that's too much. So they cut off a certain point, and they're like, okay, that's Persona 5. And then now they're doing Persona 5 Scramble, and it's like, this is a legitimate sequel. It is a legitimate sequel to this fucking franchise. It's really weird, because normally we get like somewhere in between the game and endings or something. We get like weird points in time where some of the games take place. But Persona 5 Scramble actually follows through with Persona 5's narrative, you know? You've done Persona 5's narrative. Now they're meeting up again the summer after the original game ends. They're still being targeted. Well, not targeted. They're still being surveillanced by the police and the government, which is like, oh shit. Like, wow. This isn't like, oh, okay, it's an entirely new story. Like, no, they're still using themes and elements from the older game, and they're expanding on it with this game. And it feels like a weird sequel that felt like, oh, Persona 5 was meant to be a lot longer than it was, but they had to like, okay, we have this game, and then now we're gonna make this game, and this will be an actual legitimate sequel. But hey, it worked out, because I'm super excited. You should be excited for it. We don't have a Western release date yet, but if anything, most likely we'll see a trailer roughly the day of, or the within a week of Persona 5 Royal's release. Obviously, because they want people to focus on Persona 5 Royal's sales in the West before anything else, so they'll let people buy that one, and then they'll start revving up marketing for that one. So once Persona 5 Royal's marketing is done and the game is out, then we'll start seeing Persona 5 Scramble material, trailers, you know, live streams or whatever they plan on doing with their marketing system. And then roughly, I guess we will roughly see, I have an estimate that we'll see either Persona 5 Scramble in July or September, roughly those 3-month window, because Atlus USA tends to roughly take about 5 to 7 months, depending on the game. Obviously, that has yet to be seen, because Persona 5 Royal hasn't been delayed. Originally, Persona 5 was delayed, and that was delayed by 2 months, which why I have the 7-month window. That's why I say maybe September, but July is their normal 5-month window. 5-month window, because Persona 5 Original in Japan came out in September, and then originally Persona 5 was originally supposed to release in February 14th in the West. So that's roughly so October, November, December, January, February. So roughly 5 months after the Japanese release, but then it got delayed into April, mainly due to translation issues or whatever. They wanted to polish the game a little more, which is fine. And then Catherine again came out in Catherine Full Body came out roughly in March, if I'm correct, for Japan, roughly around that time. And obviously, so that one actually took a lot longer, 6 months, which we got the release in September for the West, well, US specifically for me. And so again, to follow that trend, Persona 5 Royal came out in October, November, December, January, February, March, 5 months, and now we're getting Royal in the West, assuming there's no delays. And so with that assumption and that knowledge, I say we're probably going to get it roughly July to September, giving that 2-month extra window just in case there is a delay. So roughly July, September, which is fine. Either that or we'll see it next year. Because unfortunately, no. So yeah, so that's my thought process. Either we're going to see it July through September because they got to beat PlayStation 5. Because once PlayStation 5 starts, they are not going to be, they're going to have to fight those sales, and that's not going to be good for that game. So either they're going to send it out to die if they send it between September and December, or they wait until next year, roughly January, February, March. If they do that, then either way will be fine. But roughly, I think they're going to probably try and get it out before then to roughly stay within the same time frame of their previous release schedules. And hopefully, and as they have stated in interviews, they are going to try and have worldwide releases for future Atlus titles, which makes sense because they're becoming a bigger studio, especially with Persona 5 hitting such a big stride and actually bringing Persona into the mainstream and people actually knowing it in gaming culture, because a lot of people didn't really know about Persona. And after that, after Persona 5, a lot of people have come to understand that Persona is a heavy hitter, and that's good. But that's it. That's my, I guess, thoughts on Scramble. You know what? No. Okay. Mainly because it's a little hard, right? Because I don't speak Japanese. I do. Kind of. I'm learning the language, and I understand some of the kanji and hiragana and katakana, but not everything. So a lot of Scramble's narrative right now was unfortunately beyond my level. Obviously, I got context by the way they spoke, or the music that was playing, or the way the cutscene was laid out. I got a lot of knowledge from how certain characters are going to play or how certain characters are going to work. Let's take Sophia. I really like her character. What they seem to be doing is that she's going to be a character who is innocent and brought or recreated or resurrected into this new era of life, right? And she's going to be innocent, and then she's going to be shown society and how characters and people live in this world, and she'll be affected by that. She'll be affected by that knowledge, which is really interesting, because she is very calm and sweet, but also very like brave and a little bullheaded like Ryuji, which is nice. It's really interesting. I'm finding her very fascinating. There is I'm gonna talk shortly about that after this video, because I have a theory about Sophia, which I thought was really interesting, and I really want to bring that out a little. But that's it. That's really Scramble. I mean, if you've seen the trailers, you've seen the gameplay. I'm in. I'm hyped. I'm excited. A lot of Persona 5 Scramble has not a lot of reused assets, but it feels very much like Persona 5 original, right? Like you press X to climb onto certain things, or you use X to grab the mask and start the battle, or hide behind objects. It very much follows the same thing where you can, press X to shoot over to like a lamppost and stand over there like Batman. It's like, okay, that's cool, that's good. And you can do jump combos, like you can jump in the air and then do a combo. It's like, it's nice to get to enemies that are aerial based, which is very fun. There are bosses. I really enjoyed that. That was very fun. I like the slide. It feels good. It works. A lot of the characters, a lot of the enemies' attacks work really well. I feel like they're telegraphed well enough that I'm like, okay, cool, I gotta dodge. Or sometimes they're not, or, or it feels manageable. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm too busy pressing buttons and I'm clicking the dodge already, but the game is still attacking, so, I'm gonna get hit. Like, no. You can cancel out of attacks properly, and it's really nice. And even just from that 2 hours, I'm like, oh, and that was just the tutorial. 2 hours. That was the tutorial. And I feel confident in my $60 going to that game, and you should too, because Persona 5 is a really good game, and Persona 5 Scramble is going to be a good game for what it is, I guess. If I don't know, you know, because obviously Atlus always has good narrative when it comes to video games. And if you haven't played Persona 5, I highly recommend you play it if you plan on playing Persona 5 Scramble. It's going to be very good. I'm excited. Like, everything in the narrative, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm down for this. Like, it works. It feels good. It feels nice. And I want to continue it. Even though I didn't even understand the language, I'm like, oh, I kind of understand what emotions these characters are having, or what I'm supposed to feel, or how they're saying it. Makes me feel like, oh, this is gonna be intense and fun. So that's it. That's all. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know this was a bit just like a bit of a ramble, but that's really all I wanted to do. I just want to talk in the dark ether of this black screen that you're looking at right now, and me just kind of sitting here. But I don't like just doing audio recordings and then putting layered video on top of it. It's like that feels kind of boring, right? Me and you aren't talking. It's me telling you content rather than you and I conversing. So I guess it feels more like of a smaller video podcast, I guess. I don't know. I think it's fun. I think this format is fun. Anyway, tell me what you think about Persona 5 Scramble. Let me know what you have to say, because obviously this video isn't the end all be all of, oh hey, you should buy this game or you shouldn't buy this game. What do you think about it? What have the trailers been showing to you? What do you take away from the game? And if you made a Japanese account and downloaded the game and played the demo, hey, let's talk about it. What did you think about the demo? Do you think they need a dodge roll? I do wish they could change the controls. I really love it when games give you remappable controls. But that's it. We're done. For now. I mean, just for the video. Comments are still going to be there. So let's go talk about it. Let's go talk about how much fun it's going to be. Or maybe how, even though it's a MUSOU game, it's actually, I think Persona, again, is revolutionizing the MUSOU genre. Making it better. Just by, you know, the concept of being a Persona game, which is very nice. But that's it. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it, and I'm gonna enjoy editing it and throwing in some fun stupid shit. But you know, hey, that's kind of what I do. I do what I do. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. You know, check out all my social medias in the description down below. You can follow this channel. Subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell. You can subscribe to my secondary channel, Imaginary Dark. That is where I play the games, and obviously on that channel you'll find my Persona 5 Scramble demo gameplay. Yay! So go over there, you know, watch that, have some fun. It's a reaction video, really, which is very nice, because I saw some stuff. I started watching some content, but then I'm like, okay, nope, I gotta stop watching, because I gotta do my own playthrough. And you know, at a certain point, I think it was once you do showtime for the first time in the tutorial, after that I'm like, okay, cool, I'm out. I'm gonna play the rest on it, you know, I'm gonna react to that on my own. So yeah, and also that I have the little thing in the bottom left corner. You can, you know, make me take drinks once I check the numbers on Twitch and YouTube. Also, the 25 subs, that's for both Epic Boy Blue and Imaginary Dark. So every time I hit 25 subs on each of those channels, so 25, 50, you know, 75, 100, I will take a shot. And we're actually roughly, I think we're at 39 right now on Twitch followers. So get me to 50 and I'll take some shots, and we'll do, you know, I'll be able to have an actual subscribe button and be an affiliate. So hey, that also helps me out. So you know what to do. Get out, you cook. All right. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I don't know. Oh, what was it? Fuck, there was something I say. Fuck, what was it? It was something funny. No, I switched my outro saying whatever. Fuck, you know. All right, just do something that is worth your time and effort. That's it. You know, just live your life that way. You know, do what you think is worth your time, and make sure you enjoy it. That's it. Bye. All right. I'm tired. I'm actually tired. Bye.